Hello my friends, happy summer solstice, and a reminder we've got friends to help you out in a jam at soulmart.me. Like our newest practitioner, Bernadette Morgan, all the way in England, helping you with a 30-minute power shot. Jam through your troubles with Bernadette, or maybe just a quick 15-minute read with Master One Feather, our expert psychic. Or perhaps you're looking for your destiny? How about DJ David Palmer? He'll give you an astrological destiny reading, all at soulmart.me.
Soul Garden.
Hello and welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Edition. I'm your host to the universe, Christopher Witecki. And it is such a pleasure to be here, Pisces, outside in the wonderful Earth energy. I think it's going to bring out a better astrology in me. By the way, speaking of Earth, well, the best we can do is soulgarden.me. If you're on the internet, you want a little nature, you want some grounded souls, come on down to soulgarden.me and say hello, especially to Master One Feather. He is a Pisces, has been basically leading the fishies for some time. We love him. Now, the fishies, everyone, is on a little bit of a, I guess, hiatus, so to speak. I mean, the universe is giving a little bit of a break with the sun in Cancer, but it's our emotional work, which I think on Earth is some of the hardest work. So to some degree, it's really hard. But as far as, you know, politics or corruption, I don't know why I'm going there, or issues at work, things like that, it's not really what it's about. We are all stepping into our emotions in a better place. And Pisces are really their emotions stem from their inner child. That's where Pisces really can put the litmus test as to what they feel or not feel when it's in combination with love. And so when the sun is in Cancer, Pisces are working on their own connection to their heart chakra, their own ability to bring love out into the moment. And if you don't know, love is what makes the world go round, literally. So those people who don't have love for themselves and don't receive love from others are the most struggled, or struggle the most with energy, manifestation, everything else on Earth, because they're disconnected from source. Those usually are vampires that are feeding off of others, right? Now, all this said, as we start on Monday, break down. The inner child may break down. That's because Uranus rules the day. And what Uranus is asking us to do is innovate our context. In this case, innovate your emotional context when it comes to your inner child. So what is your inner child's emotional context right now? Context meaning kind of the place you take in the world. We all play these certain roles. So is your inner child the victim? Is your inner child the hero? Is your inner child, you know, the recluse? What is the inner child? And the second question is, are you living in that context? Is it really your context? And sometimes it can be any of the above. Sometimes people are playing a different context. It's not true to themselves. Sometimes the context they're playing doesn't work for them. Whatever the case is, if it's not working for you, it will likely break down on Monday. And the moon will be in Virgo, your opposite sign. So it's highly likely this is about one of two relationships. Either a relationship to yourself, or this will be triggered by a long-term relationship with someone else. So be looking at the relationships, but don't be blaming the relationships. Once again, it's a context issue. On Tuesday, Mercury rules the day. Mercury is actually up in Leo, and Mercury is saying, let's put this all together. Let's figure out why the inner child is not happy. Now, yesterday suggested a context shift that needs to happen. If you haven't identified that context shift, well, this will be the day to identify it. So it's a pensive day. It's a day where you're in your head. Again, the moon is in Virgo on Tuesday, so emotions are LTR based. They're very much focused on long-term relationships. And during the course of the day, depending on where you live in the world, the moon will cross over Mars, and that was going to give you a big aggressive boost of energy. All right. Now, this emotional aggressive burst will happen or be focused or triggered by long-term relationships in life. So this might be a time where you get really lonely, or this might be a time where you just can't take them anymore. This is probably a Law and Order moment where a husband or wife kills each other. Okay, so if you're operating on that base level, be careful. But the point is that this big emotional surge comes up, and we must resolve it. Now, this is a surge, I believe, to get the course moving when it comes to long-term relationships. Mars has been in this space for a long time, and so Mars is saying, let's wrap up this show. However, let us not forget that the moon is, that the sun is actually focused on inner child. So this really has to do with your heart and love and relationships moving forward. And is your inner child on board with relationships moving forward? So be paying attention to that idea with Mercury ruling the day. On Wednesday, things actually are nice. So hump day is things balance out. That's because Venus rules the day. It's going to restore natural balance and order. This is a day where you're going to restore order of giving and receiving to your inner child. Perhaps your inner child needs to receive. Perhaps your inner child needs to give. But whatever it needs to do, let it do it, basically, on Wednesday. The moon also shifts into Libra, which will make Pisces a little bit more vulnerable than usual. That's because your trust and intimacy issues will be highlighted. Trust and intimacy are going to be a bigger issue here coming up in just a minute. So you may start to feel trouble or a need to take responsibility when it comes to trust and intimacy. Now, during the course of Wednesday, Saturn is actually going to move direct. And what this means is when it comes to trust and intimacy, Pisces need to be responsible now. And depending on where you live on the earth, the moon will cross over Saturn. In the United States, it'll do it while we're sleeping. In Europe, it will actually do as they wake. This means, though, energetically, that it's time for you to emotionally move forward with drawing the right boundaries. And yes, it's very possible that this all gets put together in the sense that your inner child's not happy because you're in a loveless relationship. It's time to move forward with the right relationships. What will it come down to? Taking responsibility for your boundaries. The universe just puts it all together if we just follow the instruction book. Nonetheless, you'll be feeling that heaviness maybe when you wake up Thursday, maybe before you go to bed on Wednesday. Again, this happens while we're sleeping for most of our viewers. But whatever it is about owning up to your emotional boundaries. And this responsibility trend is going to continue through the fall. So from this point on, if Pisces don't uphold the boundaries they know better, you will get burned big time. Or the universe will let you make all that mistake until you find yourself in the wrong pond. Be careful about that. Thursday's a cloudy day for most of the planet, but for you, you're feeling good. Neptune, your home planet, rules the day. The moon is still in Libra, so you are probably feeling vulnerable and a bit detached. And Thursday's actually the real day Venus goes direct. I actually got it wrong in the last scopes. My apologies. That was wishful thinking on my part. But Venus direct does mean that you're going to begin to move forward now with your self-nurturing needs. You're going to begin to move forward now with the expansion of your inner mother, so to speak. So moving forward with the nest and the rest. Why is that important? Well, that is actually what keeps the fire going for the inner child. If the inner child is not well cared for, you cannot live in a state of love. This is all about the master's path. So with Venus moving forward, you're going to begin to be able to receive. You might start receiving resources that you need to take better care of yourself, receiving information you need, or just being able to finally appreciate and smell the roses received from the earth. Either way, receiving moves forward on Thursday. Neptune's ruling the day, so you're feeling pretty good. And Venus conjuncting Jupiter promises that any investment is going to be big when it comes to self-nurturing. So invest in your self-nurturing. You just can't lose right now, says the Witecki. Now, that said, moving on to Friday. Friday's a day of decision-making. Saturn rules the day on Friday. And in this first chapter 1, it means it's time to step away from whatever is in the way of your inner child relationship to yourself. So step away from the hurt childhood. Step away from the first marriage that broke your heart. Step away from the fact that your parents said you were never creative and could never succeed. Let's step away from all that. That baggage only holds back your ability to light cast, and you're going to have the strength, I think, with the moon in Scorpio, especially shifting into boundary energy and pulling out of boundaries themselves so you can get more analytical again. On Friday, I think you're going to be able to draw some lines and say that's enough is enough with certain aspects in your life. Now, we do have a temporary soul pyramid on that day that I think is what triggers it. And fortunately for Pisces, you are well taken care of. It's triggered by the moon in Scorpio, which is from your beliefs, down to the sun in Cancer, which means your heart chakra, and over to Neptune in your sign, which means you logging into God. So basically, your emotions, your awareness, and your God part of you, which is a lot of you, all come together for a hyper-realization called a soul pyramid. So on Friday, really, to some degree, the Pisces, you could say, are blessed. Listen to your instincts, or don't even write me. All right. On Saturday, it is action time. Saturday, Mars rules the day. Mercury is also showing a little bit of breakthrough in energy. And the moon in Scorpio makes us ready to draw emotional boundaries, ready for you to draw boundaries about what you believe in and what you don't believe in. And so it's really time to take action. So if you decided to step away from something of a painful childhood, Do something about that on Saturday. Step away, put into action. Let us not forget, part of manifestation is putting into action, like a tribe dancing around a rain fire, right? To bring rain, you got to put into action what you intend to do. Just the motion itself gets the light casting going. So on Saturday, take some action for yourself and feel those boundaries naturally with the moon in Scorpio. On Sunday, we hold space. It's like a Zen day. It's very typical Sunday, if you want to say, in the sense it's a very spiritual day. But we're going to hold space on this day. The moon will be in Sag, so you'll be beginning to feel your legacy. You'll begin to feel a little more serious. You might start having some motion around career. But really what you want to do is hold space for that inner child. Holding space or holding back the past and holding yourself and heart open to the future. That is the yoga spiritual position I'm recommending for Sunday. And what's interesting on top of all of this is the universe also gives us a temporary soul pyramid. This one triggered in fire. So part of this putting together on Sunday is you're feeling your emotions around your career. You're feeling the innovation of your self-esteem and the possibility of making more money. And this all clicks into Mercury. And Mercury is saying, hey, let's think about a new lifestyle, a whole new life. Maybe one that we're happy, maybe one where dreams come true. That's the kind of rainbow stuff going on Sunday. All right, Pisces, that's all I have for this weekly forecast. I will see you back again 1 week from now on Monday. Until then, live, love, be.